Hello, everyone. I'm Captain Logan, and I am broadcasting live from a parking lot. I am at the KC Retro Convention today, which I just found out about a couple of days ago and didn't expect to go to a convention this weekend. But I've been here all morning and having a great time, and it is at the Overland Park Convention Center. They've got a really good kind of packed hall in here. I was really surprised. I expected this to be a little smaller than it is, but it is mostly gaming stuff. It's a lot of, as the name suggests, it's all retro. And so it's a lot of video games, 16-bit stuff, going all the way up. And prices these days for these things have gotten crazy, but there's a lot of good deals to be had. I always like to go to the last day for things like this, because usually there's a lot more wheeling and dealing going on, and a lot of booths will have really good sales and things. And I had a couple of really good finds. I'm probably done spending money today, but I'm gonna go back and play in the arcade and stuff. They've got my favorite pinball machine of all time, the Stargate machine, which I was really excited to see. And it's not a big pinball con like the one I go to in Texas, but a couple of the local arcades and like Amini's Galleria and stuff like that have some machines up, and there's some actually pretty obscure arcade machines and just stuff I don't see all the time, like the Batman 89 arcade that actually has Elfman music, which I have only ever played. I mean, I've emulated it, but I've only actually seen that machine years ago at a hotel, I think, in like the mid 2000s. So it was fun to see that again. I'll probably go back in and play that later. But anyway, so as the title suggests, I bought a Power Rangers mystery box, and the guy swore, he couldn't tell me what was in it, of course, but he swore that there's a villain figure in it, of a villain that he'd never seen a figure for. That I think Lightning Collection, and I'm skeptical of that. I know about most of the Lightning stuff, but chances are it's not something I have already. So hopefully that didn't end up being a waste of cash. But I was a little bit worried there would just be stuff in it that I have already, but hopefully not. Hopefully it's new stuff that I've not seen before, and he kind of acted like it was mostly Mighty Morphin, which is what I collect, even though I like some other stuff, and Dino Thunder a little bit as well. But anyway, so I'm going to show you a couple of the other things that I got here before I open that box up. I actually want to start with some comics that I got last night for my dad, because my dad and I just had our 40th and 60th birthdays respectively, and he got me some comics for my birthday. I just saw him last night. We had dinner together. Hayden Spring just says, I have Power Rangers news too. I bought a humble bundle of all the comics. Oh, crazy. I'm sorry, I gotta refresh this. And I'm annoyed that it ended up being all in PDF form. So now I have to go buy a new flash drive to store it all. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know anything about Humble Bundle. I didn't know it was just PDF though. That's lame. That's really a bummer. I mean, at least you'll be able to read it all. So that's cool. But that's a little bit of a bummer. So the big thing that my dad got for me, so he runs a flea market and he gets into comics quite a bit, and every time he gets in stuff that he thinks I might want for gap filling, he lets me know about it. And then this one he told me about, but then he just went ahead and gave it to me instead of asking me to buy it from him. And this was my big birthday present. This is X-Men. Oh, and I'm dropping things. This is X-Men number 37. And it is in pretty good shape for its age. It's fully intact. It doesn't have a lot of creases and stuff in the corners anyway. There is a little bit of damage here on the side, but all in all, this is probably a good to very good copy of X-Men number 37, a 12-cent comic from, what's that gonna be, 67, 66, maybe 68. I'm not sure the exact year on that. I'd have to go back and look at the dates. I'm rusty on when exactly that stuff came out, but and the color on the cover looks nice too. I haven't popped it open yet to look at the pages, but I'm excited about that. This is now the oldest X-Men comic I have. I think I also own 58, which is a Havoc cover. Uh, but I'm very stoked to have that. And then he gave me a couple of Bronze Age things. So here is Amazing Spider-Man 188. I'm going to do another collector video on comics tonight or tomorrow night, so look forward to that. But here's kind of a quick primer for that. I'm doing it again. Amazing 188. This is just a gap-filling issue, one I didn't have. And then this is 80. Oh, it's weird how and this is not a great copy. I need to put these in bags and boards too. Dad didn't have those apparently. But yeah, this is number 80, and it's weird how the title cuts off on the top. I don't know what that's about. I'm streaming remotely on my phone here, obviously, so hopefully you guys can see and hear me okay. Let me know if I'm having any connection issues, but it looks like it's going okay. And then this one's weird. This is Ultimate Spider-Man issue 8, a not-for-resale copy brought to you by Payless Shoe Source, which is no longer in business. Payless went out a few years ago, I think. Maybe around the same time as Toys R Us, maybe just after that. But anyway, that's kind of odd. I love weird retail stuff like that. So anyway, I probably already have this this issue, but now I have the Payless version. I thought this cover was earlier than that. I'm surprised that's issue 8. I thought that was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 or something. I used to have a poster of that exact cover, now that I'm looking at it again, on my wall when I was in high school, I think, with Spider-Man's gigantic hand. Like, it does not look like we're at all to scale here with the human form. But anyway, and then at this actual convention, I got a couple cool things that I actually know what they are, and then we'll open up this mystery box. I'm gonna build suspense. So I only paid $10 for this, and the image is a little faded, but it was worth it. This is, hopefully it works, but this is the Virtua Fighter 4 arcade stick for PS2, and I'm a big Virtua Fighter fan. I collect Virtua Fighter real hard, and I've never had an arcade stick that was specifically Virtua Fighter, and 4 is a great game, and 4 has a really cool anniversary mode on it. I think it was the 15th anniversary, which is weird because now it's the I think it's now the 15th anniversary of the 15th anniversary. I think we're into, I think a year or two ago it was 30th anniversary of Virtua Fighter. And anyway, it's that'll be a fun game to play this with. So I don't know, that was a neat find. And again, I only paid $10 for it. Some of the prices I was finding in here, like I said, were real reasonable, and there are of course tables that hype things up, right at or above online prices, but it's cool to see just the variation in there. It's not all extremely ridiculous, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then this is a thing I've been after for a long time and kind of put off, and with game prices going up the way they've been going lately, I need to finally pull the trigger on this, and the guy gave me a decent price on it, so I bought the Genesis version of the Tick, which is one of the last 90s Tick items I'm missing. As a lot of you guys know, I have a gigantic Tick collection, and surprisingly and somewhat ironically, this is one of the only things that I had left to get. I got it in box, and it has the manual, and it goes for 70 to 80 online, and I paid 60 for mine, and it was nice of him to give me that discount. And it's in relatively good shape box-wise. I hate these cardboard Genesis boxes. I don't understand why. I guess just to save money, just to cut costs, some games went to these over the really nice crisp clamshells that most Genesis games had. Oh, Jason's in the chat there. Hi, Jason. He's out of town right now. I wish he could be at this con with me. I've been sending him pictures all morning. It really sucks he's not here. There's a bunch of stuff in here that he'd want to see, and a couple things I know he would buy if he was here. Or I say I know he would buy. He might. But there's a bunch of Famicom. He's been after a Famicom. I can't remember if Jason wants a Super Famicom more than a regular Famicom, but a bunch of games in there, and that's a fun system to collect for because the games remain really inexpensive. But anyway, back to this. So I say it's ironic that I didn't have this before. I already have the Super Nintendo cartridge, but not the box. And the Genesis version is the one I grew up with. I think I just found the Super Nintendo cartridge real cheap at one point. And again, I don't have the box for that, and obviously that's also cardboard. It's gonna be expensive if I ever get my hands on it. But all of my Tick stuff I have complete and in box, and all my 90s stuff. And so at some point, to be uniform, I'm gonna need to try to get that box. So I'm really glad I was able to get this way. But when I was a kid, and I've told this story before, but I used to rent that game constantly, and that is not a well-liked game, but it represents the IP well enough. And I was just a dumb kid. What did I know? I've always said this. I was not very critical of video games, or really a lot of things at that time. And it was just fun to get to play a beat 'em up with one of my favorite superheroes. And I was also always curious, all the extra characters that were in it that I didn't know of from Adam, because I just knew the cartoon show, and I didn't get the comics until much, much later. So I'm like, who the hell is Paul the Samurai? Who's Oedipus? You know, all that was really confusing to me. But I rented that game at a local kind of hole-in-the-wall mom and pop rental place. And I got it so many times, and I was the only person that ever rented it, that the guy finally just gave me the cartridge. He told my stepmom, he was like, yeah, you guys basically paid for the game at this point. Why don't you just take it with you? And I don't have it anymore. I don't know what happened to it. And I never had the box for that. It's also kind of surreal looking at the instructions, because I had only ever seen the rental version of that, just like photocopied. I was gonna say printed off. It was earlier than that. It would have been photocopied in black and white. Although I think it's also black and white here, because they're cutting all these corners. But you know, I never saw the front of it in color. Anyway, so I needed to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. I'm glad I did that. And then finally, this Power Rangers mystery box. So there's this guy, before you even get into the convention hall, that right outside of that has stacks of these. And Planet Comic-Con has a couple of booths usually with guys doing mystery boxes, but this one was real, kind of homemade. It's not a company doing it. It's not, part of a mail order thing or anything. It's not surplus. And I was like, well, this guy by himself putting these boxes together, and that's all he's doing. He's probably making them pretty cool. Hopefully so. Hopefully I didn't get duped on this, but I don't think I did. He seemed cool. I guess we'll find out here in a second. But he had $40 ones, and then he had $100 ones, and I bought a $40 one, which is supposed to be between $60 and $100 worth of value. So we'll see what's in here. I could not wait to find out. I was gonna just open this on stream tonight, and then I went, nah, I'm gonna go get lunch pretty soon. I'll go do a quick stream in my car and show this to everybody. I'm glad Jason's watching right now, so you can see what's in here too, or hopefully he still is. But anyway, so I guess I'm gonna pop this open. We'll find out what it is. I was between they had Batman one and they had Power Rangers ones, and I was between the two, and he sold me on the Power Rangers one. He was like, yeah, there's a really cool thing in there, and he was trying to steer me toward this instead of Batman, and he wasn't making any more money that way. So my guess is he was being very helpful, but we'll find out. Okay, I'm excited to find out what's in here. Now, I'll build suspense again for a second just to say I'm gambling again, because last week I went to the casino with Brandon and Chris, and I blew $100 on roulette. And I did not do real well, although I made a little bit back. So I spent 150 and I got 50 of it back, and I didn't spend that again. So I didn't do horrible, but I did lose the $100 that my wife gave me to go play roulette. I've done that one time in my life. I'll probably never do it again. But now I'm sort of gambling again. But this should pay off better. Okay, what do we have here? So the first thing is a Dino Charge Pink Ranger. Looks like it's mostly pinks here. Oh man, I think I got the wrong box because he said that one of these had a villain that he'd never seen before. That's unfortunate. I didn't get the one with that villain, but that's okay. So this is a Lightning Collection figure that I didn't have before, and my kids will love that. We don't have very many pinks, so that's cool. I'm not a big Dino Charge person, but that's all right. And then I got a little pop Blue Ranger, so I guess that's cool. That's a keychain, so I might carry that. And then the other big thing that's in here, okay, so yeah, I gambled and lost a little bit on this, but at least it's stuff I didn't have already. So I basically spent money to get some cool stuff for my girls, which is totally. I'd say I lost. I lost for me, but I gained for my kids, so that's cool. We have one or two of these already, but this is the Pink Ranger one. So this is the Pink Ranger in Toyota FT1 concept by Jada Toys, and I've got the Green Ranger and I think the Red Ranger one already. So now we've got the Pink Ranger one to complement it, and Selena and Cassandra will be very excited about this. They both love Power Rangers, particularly Selena. So that wasn't a bad box, but I grabbed the wrong one. I kind of wish he'd told me. I kind of wish he'd been like, okay, I can't tell you what's in the box, but you want to get this other one. He might not have remembered either, like which one he put what in. Okay, so I don't know. On a selfish note, it's a little disappointing, but it's not all that disappointing because I got cool stuff for my girls, and they'll be very happy. So you know, I was gonna say happy super late birthday. But yeah, so I'll give this stuff to my girls when I get home. They'll be very excited. I'm gonna go get lunch, and then I'm gonna go back into this convention and hang out and play video games and stuff. But yeah, I'm having a fun weekend. I hope you guys are too. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I will be back again late tonight, probably. If not tonight, tomorrow night, to do a collection stream and